Hello and welcome to the Perform Beyond podcast. My name is Louise Brogan and I am joined today by two members of the VPS team, and we are going to talk about training needs analysis. If you have not yet listened to the previous episodes in our podcast, I highly recommend that you go and check them out, and then you can follow along the whole sequence of how we are working with our clients. Today, I'd like the two members to introduce themselves. So Amanda and Maureen, could you share a little bit about yourselves and your role at VPS, please? Starting with Amanda.
Yeah, I'm an instructional designer, also a project manager. So I'm sort of at the start of the process, taking the content and then turning it into engaging learning. But I also project manage the whole process as well.
Fabulous. And Maureen.
Thanks, Amanda. I'm Maureen Owens and I'm the learning manager within VPS. I'm working very closely with Amanda with our financial services client.
Super. So, ladies, today we really wanted to talk a little bit about training needs analysis, skills, and when you're looking at the curriculum, how do you evaluate training needs? And I think, Maureen, I think you're going to introduce this topic to our listeners today.
Yes, Louise, I suppose training needs analysis is a really important part of what we do in our day-to-day job, because without training needs analysis to know what those gaps are, we can't support our client. In a previous podcast, we mentioned the 100-day plan, and this is where the training needs analysis really starts off. So when we're planning out training needs analysis, we're looking almost 12 months in advance. So we're looking and working with our client to see what are the gaps or the skills gaps that they actually have within their business areas. What are the key areas of focus that they want to work on? Think about their learning strategy, working with the client to see what's in your learning strategy for the following year, say 2025, and how can we identify the needs and the gaps that are there for you. So we look and see various different courses. So we mentioned again previously that ESG is a really important hot topic. That's a big skills gap at the moment for the client that we're working with. So we need to make sure that we have as much engaging content and training material to keep ESG and to make it engaging and exciting. Not everybody knows what environmental, social and governance lending is, but it's really important that we get that across to our clients and to our learners. So that's where that 100-day plan, working with the client, identifying those gaps. There might be a gap in one business area, but not in another. It might be something totally different. We work together, and then from there, once we get that kind of locked down, that's when we bring Amanda in, and we will engage with Amanda's team in instructional design to actually bring that to life. We would also use Amanda's experience, because let's be fair, Amanda has buckets and years of experience in instructional design, so she can identify gaps within the training portfolio that we have already, so we can support that with our clients. Amanda, can you think of any courses that we might have had that you have thought were out of date or stale that you would recommend to our client?
Yeah, I guess when we do the mandatory courses and we look at those, I mean, we try and keep in touch with, what is going on out there. So if we see, sometimes dates can be outdated, we might know of a particular act and the date is, they might be referring to an old act that's updated. So, we make sure we keep an eye on all of those regulations, etc., to make sure that everything has been incorporated into the learning.
Yeah, we know, Amanda, how important regulation is. Again, we mentioned in a previous podcast, so important to make sure we keep our client in check with regulation so they don't get fined and we keep things totally up to date.
Ladies, as someone who does not work in this space alongside you, can you walk me through how, when you first get working with a client, and you maybe the client has a few thousand members of staff, where do you start in terms of literally start laying out what the training needs are for those people? And is there a priority on who you should be getting the training first? Can you talk me through that kind of situation?
Yes and no. I suppose Amanda did mention earlier about our mandatory trainings. So first of all, that's probably the most important part, because there's certain courses and certain trainings that we need to make sure that all staff, regardless of what part of the business we're in, actually get. They are the ones that we mentioned earlier about regulation, data protection, anti-money laundering, information security, all vitally important. So they would always be number one. Straight away, for any of our financial service institutions, customers, they would be number one trainings for everybody. Then we'd strip it back and we'd actually work with the client to see what business area has the biggest focus. So it is, I suppose, what we call a two-way workshop. So we have to engage with the client because they know their customer, they know the end customer at the end, where we will know the learning piece. So we will work with them to see. So if you have team A or function A, what are the skills gaps that you have there? So we'll discuss with our learning business partners, who are our partners within the financial services institution. We will work with them to identify within their business areas what are the gaps, and it can vary.
Excellent. And where does technology play a part in this? Like, Amanda, do you what technology do you use in this area of the business?
Yeah, I mean, for the courses, we primarily use sort of the industry standard for the e-learning, but we incorporate, obviously, we've got videos and the graphics that we use. So we look at the different technologies that are out there. We make sure that we're working with the subject matter experts to decide really on what is best. So we're always looking into, with our sort of different contacts with shows, etc. I'm a CIPD member, so what is out there, and we would recommend any new technologies that are available when we're looking at the courses.
Excellent. And I'm wondering about the complexity of this work as well, because again, you could just talk a little bit about the jobs that need to be performed. Amanda, in your team, do you have people who work on graphic? Because you mentioned different formats there, people who are working on graphic, people who are working on audio. Could you explain a little bit about that for us, please?
Yeah. I mean, our team, we've got, obviously our team covers all experiences. So we've got very experienced people in video, audio. We do, we've created a lot of virtual environments. So we use, the virtual reality. We've got graphic designers, we've got very experienced developers, plus people with years and years of experience in the training industry. I mean, I've been in the training industry all my work life, so as a trainer and also as an instructional designer. So we know we can capture. We've got every aspect of that, the learning cycle, plus the quality as well. So we're all very fixated on the quality of the developments as well.
So I have a question for you both around AI and the client. So because I know we talked about the client involvement and the client feedback in 2024. And if you're listening to this in the future, apologize, because I'm sure things have changed already. Do you get a lot of pushback on the use of AI and what, I'm imagining that some of the clients would be are reading about technologies that may not necessarily be part of what you want to use as the experts in learning and the experts in instructional design. Has that kind of conversation come up with your clients? And if it has, how do you deal with it?
It has, Louise, and I suppose it's come up in two ways. We have some of our clients who are, no, not touching it, not there yet. Yeah. AI is still fairly new with a lot of our customers. But then on the other hand, we have some other customers outside of financial services in the motor industry who are wide open, hands open, tell me everything you can give me with AI. We actually, the team, Amanda, if you remember, did a lovely virtual island, and I don't want to mention the client name because I don't want to give it away. But that lovely island that was done, that was absolutely fantastic. Man, did you know much more about that one? You probably know more about the island than I do.
Yeah, I mean, with the island, so we've created with the island. Obviously, we use the sort of standard graphics, but sometimes you need to add extra components. So within our, I suppose we do use AI within our team, but to enhance the graphics. So we'll use it to give to give an environment that sometimes it's difficult to perhaps go out and film and video, you know, certain parts of it. So we have the main sort of pictures, images, etc. But we can use that technology to enhance it, to give a more and a better sort of experience.
How do you
realistic? Sorry, Louise. That island. If you have ever seen it, if you're one of our customers and you've seen the island, it is absolutely amazing because you can see people going into different parts within the island. So you virtually walk yourself in, you walk yourself to this part and to that part, and that's AI. And some of our clients are, as I said, are really engaging with that. Financial services, not so much just yet. I think it's still a little bit early because I suppose financial services is a really complex area. Nobody wants to have anyone gain access in the back door to get access to their current account funds. So IT security, particularly around AI, is still very high within financial services. My guess, another 12 to 18 months, I think things might turn around a little bit. But they're talking about it. They're having those conversations, which I think is important. Where a year ago, it was off the table, where now those conversations are happening. Another year, 18 months will make things totally different.
I have to say, that's a relief to hear as a consumer of financial products.
Absolutely. Like nobody wants to have, potentially your bank account being hacked by somebody in AI. So security is really heightened for everybody.
All right, ladies. Well, this has been very interesting and eye-opening in how you are working with these clients and the training needs analysis. In our next episode, everyone will be delighted to hear that Maureen and Amanda will be coming back to join me, and we will be discussing how to create engaging training in the financial services industry. And I think this is going to be a really interesting topic for our listeners. So, ladies, thank you so much. Listeners, make sure you tune in, subscribe for our next episode. And thank you so much for joining me today, ladies.
Thank you.